In the world of numbers, he found his way, studying the shadows where the lost hearts lay. With his life downsloped and a dream, he chased the light, healing the vulnerable through endless night. But life took a turn, a storm in the skies, stage 4 came knocking with a heavy sigh.
So pleased to welcome to Author's Corner Dr. Uly Labilles, and he's got a book out called The Genome of Faith, A Life Unfolding Between Heaven and Earth, a Scientist's Testament Beyond the Timeline. It is phenomenal, and we are, again, pleased to have him on Author's Corner here on America Tonight with me, Kate Delaney. Doc, thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you very much, Kate.
Let's talk about your background. I'm going to just cut you off and dive right into it because we want to get to the heart of the matter because, like I said, this book is really incredible. So you're an epidemiologist, you're a cancer researcher, you're a public health advocate, you have your own personal journey that's wrapped into your professional life too as well. I mean, just an incredibly smart guy where you've just graduated with massively high honors and all of that. Let's talk about what made you write this book. Why'd you write the book?
Yeah, in 2023, in November 9, 2023, I have my craniotomy procedure to remove the tumor in my brain. I was diagnosed by I was diagnosed with stage 4 non-small cell lung cancer, and it led to the development of tumor on the right hemisphere of my brain. I am a non-smoker, but given that I'm exposed to active reagents in cutaneous oncology laboratory, in which I spent for a long time before, during, and after grad school.
Wow. And in following that journey and thinking of that and what you've dealt with and the fact that you're a doctor, how much has your faith played into your story that really is one of resilience and hope, and people will see that in the book?
My faith is the one that takes me from during my darkest days to the light. And in my book, I coined a new word called empatheia, which is the fusion of faith and empathy. And I was still in the recovery room after my craniotomy procedure. I started testing my cognitive threshold because I was told by my neurosurgeon that Uly, given that you're one of us as a researcher, I'm just giving you a heads up that you might lose something after the procedure. So that's why when I was just recovering, I was still in the hospital room recovering, and I started writing this book. And actually, I started writing this book, but I started with the letters that I wrote for my kids.
Yeah, so tell us about the letters that you wrote for your kids, wanting them to know you better.
Oh yeah. I'll read to you an excerpt of my letters to my kids. My beloved Raven, Dwayne, Dwight, and Abby. If you are reading this someday when I am no longer here, let it be more than goodbye. Let it be my final goodnight kiss. And remember that all of you are the joy of my life, my strength, the reason I kept fighting when illness and life grew heavy. I regret the kisses that I miss during birthdays, moments when I was not around to answer your questions. But please always remember that I never stopped loving you all, not for a single moment.
Wow, that's beautiful. And you dedicate the book to several people and whatnot, including your children. And it's interesting. I mean, you even say in part of your dedication, besides your family, you say you dedicate this book to the patients I served as a dental medicine clinician and the lives I touched as a COVID-19 response corps epidemiologist with the CDC Foundation. Wow. And now here you're on the other side of that. What was that like?
I am blessed. During the pandemic, working with the CDC Foundation, I have a direct contact with the CEO of the CDC Foundation, Dr. Judy Monroe. Then the government, the VA here in St. Louis, noticed what I'm doing for the CDC Foundation and recruited me to join their team and replicate what I'm doing for the CDC Foundation. I already have a long COVID lecture series at the time. Then I replicated that project here in St. Louis, and then it became a global lecture series about the long COVID, and it's attended by from all over the world, from the UK University, Berlin University, and our partners here in the US.
Wow. And thank goodness they had your knowledge and your grace and what you were able to add to what was a really difficult situation. And in your book, and you break it down in several different pieces of content, like you have a letter to the readers, you have light touch the wound. And what I found so fascinating is you also talk about chemotherapy. You've got chemotherapy in there as a doctor, and you're charged with saving lives and the things that you've done in your career. What was it like to get chemo and be on the other side of that?
It was hard at first with chemotherapy. Chemotherapy is a blunt instrument.
Yeah.
And chemotherapy is affecting my kidney function, and my medical oncologist decided to stop chemotherapy and move on to immunotherapy infusion. So at first I started with a combination of chemotherapy and therapy infusion.
Wow.
My kidney function is getting better without chemotherapy. But then the immunotherapy infusion damaged my pancreas, putting me into type 1 diabetes. And that's my everyday fear at nighttime when I sleep. It's a being type 1 diabetes. I'm aware with the syndrome called dead in bed syndrome, because type 1 diabetic could pass away when they're sleeping if they don't wake up, because of nocturnal hypoglycemia.
Wow. I'm
still awake. I'm talking to you now, Katie.
Yeah.
Kate, and it's a blessing to talking to you today.
And it's a blessing to have you on the show. And I want to tell everybody, get this book. You can get it on Amazon for a song. You can get the Kindle version right now, paperback, hardcover, however you want to consume it. What else will people find in the book, Dr. Uly?
my readers appreciate what I written in my book, especially with my experience during my book signing in Manila, Frankfurt, and London. Yeah, and some of the readers are very thankful and even teary-eyed in front of me, and thanking me. Thank you for writing this book, because your book helped a member of my family a lot who is terminally ill.
Wow. I mean, and we go back to the title, The Genome of Faith, and you've got your picture, and we see you with that great, big, wonderful smile, and it's a life unfolding between heaven and earth, a scientist's testament beyond the timeline. And what do you mean by beyond the timeline? Is that faith that we're talking about?
Yeah, in November 2023, after I was discharged from my first craniotomy procedure, my prognostic deadline is 6 months to a year.
And we'll be back with more of Author's Corner with our guest, Dr. Uly, The Genome of Faith, a life unfolding between heaven and earth, a scientist's testament beyond the timeline. That's the name of his book. Meet you on the flip.
Yet in the silence he found a song, a testament of faith where the brave belong. With every heartbeat he shares his fire, a legacy written in the glow of the night for those who are suffering.
And we're back with Dr. Uly, and we're talking about his book, The Genome of Faith, a life unfolding between heaven and earth, a scientist's testament beyond the timeline. And boy, he's beating the odds. You are beating the odds. He's got a PET scan coming up on July 7th. We all have our fingers crossed for that. And he, writing keeps you grounded. That's one of the things you told me. And here's the thing. You got an Eric Hoffer Book Award, nominee. You were a nominee, which is awesome. Just to even be a nominee is huge. And, you found yourself really drawn to this and writing this memoir. So important. And when we were talking to you in our last segment, you were telling us about beating those odds. So where are you now?
So I made it to my 6 months. Then I made it to a year, and I'm still here talking to you and going to book signings. And I never really expected to do this far, to going around the world doing a book signing. All I did is something tangible for my kids, or to open the book and read my life and what I did to help others and save lives.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're just a wonderful inspiration, and you being at these book signings is so huge, certainly for the people that get to meet you and get to see you, and now people listening that can pick up the book, because you talk so much from, you have that scientist perspective too. I mean, you know what it is that you're going through, and what's that like? What's it been like for your kids?
When I was in Manila for the Manila International Book Fair, my 3 boys from my first marriage was there. My eldest son, his name is Raven, and he was with me when my glucose level was very, very low. I'm very, very weak, and that's something what he told me that I will never forget. And he told me that, please don't die in front of me, Dad. And I don't know what to do. You're from the United States. I hope the hospital here will admit you. I told him, don't worry. I'm a U.S. federal employee. I could go anywhere in the world, and I am covered. So he calmed down, but he was panicking in front of me when my glucose level was very low. It was around 70 at that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, very, very difficult. But the way you handled that and the way that he saw you handle that, I think there's a lesson in it. When people read your book, what do you hope they take away?
The takeaway is not to give up and keep on fighting when you're terminally ill.
Wow. And that
Keep on praying.
Yeah.
Keep on praying and have your faith.
Yeah, don't give up. And that's it. You're the testimony to that. As I said in the beginning, I mean, this is your legacy, and you are telling the story of resilience and hope, and it's weaved throughout the entire book for sure. Get the book, The Genome of Faith, A Life Unfolding Between Heaven and Earth, A Scientist's Testament Beyond the Timeline. Dr. Uly, as people call you, I love that nickname. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much, Kate. And it's been a pleasure. It's been a blessing to be here talking to you.